and Dragons.
Take them away.
Hey.
Not exactly a vacation resort, is it?
What are we going to do? And what about poor Bobby all alone out there?
Pulse-pounding adventure today for the pole position team and the chicken who knew too much.
In the last episode, He-Man convinced Adora to see for herself how bad the Horde was. Adora learned that He-Man was right. The Horde was evil. She returned to the Fright Zone and told the Horde's leaders she would no longer serve them, but they put an evil spell on her and stole the sword He-Man had been sent to give to Adora, even as He-Man escaped, determined to find her. And now, Chapter 3 of The Sword of She-Ra.
On Dungeons and Dragons.
Are you sure we're still on the path? Uh-oh.
I don't understand it. Whoa!
Fly down the highway with the pole position team as they race to discover the trouble with Kuma. Mystery and thrills today on pole position as the K9 vanishes. It's pedal to the metal for the pole position team as they race to solve the riddle of the 39 stripes.
Last episode, the Decepticons stole the key to the plasma energy chamber, the forge where the Autobots were created millions of years ago. The Autobots regained the key, but a blast of plasma energy blew the Autobots clear across the galaxy. They crashed on the planet Nebulos and were captured by Nebulon rebels who feared that the Autobots were controlled by the evil rulers of Nebulos known as the Hive. But after the Decepticons landed on their planet and waged a brutal battle, taking 5 of the Autobots prisoner, the Nebulon rebels agreed to help the remaining Autobots. And so, with danger looming from every side and his son Daniel gravely wounded, Spike attempts to unite the Nebulon rebels and the Autobots into a new life form, the Headmasters.
Action today as the pole position team comes face to face with strangers on the ice. With the pole position team and hug the inside lane as they fall under the shadow of a trout.
Today on Dungeons and Dragons. have a purpose.
Hello? Is anyone here?
I'm leaving. Oh, no!
Let's get out of here.
You cannot escape.
Come on, Uni, jump!
I don't believe this.
Today on Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, hey, I remembered how to stream. Well, no, that's not exactly it. But yeah, it's actually a damn stream here in, what was it? What was the last one? Sometime, why do I always do, yeah, sometime in like April, yeah, or no, not even April, that was when I last uploaded the thing. What? Oh my God, March 19th. So yeah. So it's been a hot goddamn minute. And things have happened. Yeah. So no excuses. Pretty much, yeah. The old usual sleep schedule being a complete freaking train wreck. Hence the starting it at 4 o'clock in the goddamn morning. And you know, my healthy sports watching schedule, and you know, my issues with my knees and my, you know, all the other crap that exists in my life, you know, being a El Pano. Yeah, so, you know, and oh yeah, and that whole thing where I took the Puzzle Boys footage and made the Puzzle Boys footage, and I spent forever, I mean, at least a good couple 3 weeks of the absence was just like sitting down and just chopping and chopping and chopping and chopping, so the solutions for people in the future. And that one went up. Yeah, that one went up on like about 2+ weeks ago. So yeah, so kind of, yeah, so a good chunk of that a good chunk of that month, you know, that month there between the stream and between that video was just me basically getting lost and chopping all those hours of footage. And yeah, I chopped it to the inch of its fucking life. But I mean, the future people, hopefully somebody in the future will appreciate that the fact that and it's not even that great of an edit. I mean, beyond the fact that the sound just goes everywhere, every which way from loose, and all the other weirdness. You know, it's just it's the best that I could do, that I could bring myself to do, or you know, with enough circular repeated moments freaking edited out. But yeah, things have happened in addition to that. Let's see. We had a certain Nintendo Switch Direct that went how should we put it, that went fucking places. The Direct itself was nice. The games were nice. Everything looked good. Games looked good, you know, hey. I know the system wasn't, you know, revolutionary or anything. And then Nintendo just, like, you know, plops out the price. And it's like, I don't know, in a press release after the Direct, and with the pricing information, and you're like, what the fuck? And then Oh yeah, that's right. Then we get the fucking game key card shit, which is, which is, oh hey, basically a download card in a basically a download fucking card for a Switch game with yeah. We'll use an actual Switch game because it's all looking like, other than having a, the basic difference is that it's going to look like the same card, except except say Nintendo Switch 2 on it, and have a big red bar on the top of the case that says Nintendo Switch 2. I mean, they're not really, I mean, I understand why, but it's not there. But anyway, basically, instead of putting a sheet of paper in the plastic, they're putting it on a card. They're wasting plastic like a motherfucker, to it to have a download. And it's just like, what the fuck? And a lot of a good chunk of the initial releases are gonna be that. And then they have like, I mean, and it's like, and the price, so it's like, the pricing is everything, and we got the discourse on the pricing was terrible because of the little issue of the tariffs, which hadn't come through, which mind you, at the time of the direct, Trump had not announced his tariff policies, and certainly had not announced his revised tariffs, which, yay, all of this shit was so fucking fun, So the thing of it is that they didn't know how much it was, and besides, I mean, the only country at present, the only country that in the U.S. that's getting slapped by the tariffs in any appreciable amount is China, because this fucking country, oh god, that we're gonna avoid the politics, even though I could go down that fucking rabbit hole. I swear to God, I could go down that the politics rabbit hole and fucking just, spend a fucking a stream just on that, because oh my god, this country is gone to shit. But anyway, that, so we have that, but the thing of it is that they didn't know the prices of it, and oh, there's that special Japan only Switch that's cheaper than everybody else on the planet, and the worst part of it all, of course, is that the individual software prices, Nintendo's the one to press the $80 button. Oh god. And then there's, of course, this past day, well, yesterday, since it's 4 o'clock in the morning, well, good old Microsoft announces their price hikes. Hey, Purple Chili Beans, how are you doing? But yeah, Microsoft announces their price hikes, which are, well, they didn't explicitly say it, but yeah, it was tariff related. But the thing of it is that, I mean, it's like, even if with the grain of salt I have with electronics prices right now, grain of salt that saying that electronics prices are actually fair, which I don't think they are. I really don't. I think that there are a lot of things that I think there are a lot of things that have been artificially inflated since the start of the pandemic, which is, of course, I might want to remind everybody, hey, Coca-Cola, you see the price here all the time. Price of it goes up. Sellers completely hike their prices because tariffs. Yeah. Yeah, because that's the thing. It's like, I mean, it's just like, I mean, but to get back on the Microsoft part of it, is that Microsoft should have, I mean, Microsoft is already, the Xbox Series is already on life support. Nobody's buying it. There's no, the console has had the stink of death for a while, and I did, yeah. That's one of the things that happened during my break from streaming, because it is the start of May in Las Vegas, and well, actually, well, yeah, the highs are the high for today is supposed to be 87. So yeah, I had to cut them up because it's horrendous. Even though I don't exactly go outside very often, because I can, for a variety of reasons. The fact is that no, you don't want to. It's almost like focus maximum amount of profit, yeah. But the problem is, the thing of it, but the thing of it is that they've been doing a bad job of it lately. A bad job, because nobody's buying that system. I did note that they didn't affect the Game Pass subscription, so they weren't entirely stupid for their existing base. But then again, the digital stuff would be, yeah. Oh, well, and of course the AI isn't going to work out. The AI just is not. It's not going to, AI is just, no. and the thing of it is that Microsoft is, again, I promised we weren't going to get into the politics of it, which I have many rants. I would, to streamline things. But Microsoft is currently under, they're currently targeted for, for boycott under BDS, the boycott, divestment, whatever the S, I can never remember what the S one is, for over their support of Israel, who I might know is still genociding the fuck out of Palestine. But again, we're not going to get into that. We're not get into that because I'm just trying to streamline it, because I don't want to. I do want to actually play the games, and but the thing of it is that the boycott was specifically aimed at Xbox. Well, we're not gonna get that cute with it. Alright, because, But yeah, so let me do the shouty out here. Because I got two of you here, so I might as well do it. Let those play. And Clippy.
What is that? Someone just... What even is that? I do not know what this person is doing.
Damn, it's like the M1... Damn, that clip was like the M1... M1 Firecracker edition of yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah, before I do the shout out, absolutely. Yeah, fundraisers. Yeah, we're totally up for that stuff. Yeah, let me. Yeah, go shoot your shot, sir. Okay, so get the. Ooh, ow. And of course,
time to suplex a car. As I learned, which you can do, because it's a thing here in this game.
Good old Dong Dong never die.
Oh yeah, definitely. Hello, Tenno Koei. Yes, welcome to the stream, and Yes, this is, in fact, probably one of the best fighting games ever made.
Yes. So go tell a game on. Oh, you're gonna be part of. I heard about the game on. Yeah. So we'll be streaming through all of. May do. You can links are not restricted, Kakalakola. So if you want to do the link to it, but yeah, I heard about that. that yeah. So absolutely, because yeah, totally yeah. Good on you for taking part in that, but yeah. So absolutely post that link so that oh, excuse me. Right on. So yeah, everybody check that out. Actually put that in a new tab so I can check it out after I'm done. Yeah. And everything. But yeah, obviously excellent cause to, to help fund lupus research, because I mean, it's one of the chronic diseases that research is always that money is always needed to help fund that research and everything. So yeah, but good job on bringing that on joining that up, and thanks for pointing it out, because yeah, absolutely. So yeah, so to get back, so here's where my transition skills really show that they've never been good. But yeah, so to get back on, to get past that, so we got all the Microsoft price hikes. So now I think now the most expensive Xbox Series X is higher than the current price of the PlayStation Pro, which is just like so crazy town how we've gotten to it. I mean, contribution from Racer is just $50 donations gets a 64 by 64 pixel art portrait, and Kakalakola can, if you've been in the streams, Kakalakola does some pretty damned awesome pixel art. Yeah, 250 gets an 8-second pixel art animation as a retro console ROM. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so right on. Yeah, those I of course do not have that sort of money to get any of that nice swanky stuff, but yeah, if you got the cash, absolutely, because again, Kakalakola does some great pixel art. So and again, also for great cause. So yeah, so let's put that out there. So okay, so yeah, so the yeah, total. No problem. I mean, I've taken part in charity. I mean, when it comes to charity stuff, I'm like, I'm usually, fairly quick on the shout out button anyway, or try to be, but when it comes to charity stuff, I'm like, shoot the shot, because, I mean, there's so much in this. I mean, again, anyone that's seen my Blue Sky feed knows that I've been boosting, people in Palestine that need all sorts of mutual aid because of everything that's fucked over there. Again, I'm not gonna get into that. I'm gonna avoid that, but just saying. So I mean, I'd be a fucking hypocrite if I say, "Why we can't do that? We can't promote charity on the stream." Blah blah blah. Because no, that's. I mean, if even one damn person sees that, then and helps out, that's a net positive. In my VOD or whatever, or here, that's a net positive as far as I'm concerned. So yeah. So anyway, so yeah, so we got the Microsoft thing, which is just like, I mean, yeah, Microsoft, I'm willing to give a little bit more because they pretty much explicitly, I mean, despite the political side of things that, again, for expediency's sake, we will not get into, because just we'd be here till the start of the Red Sox game at 4, and you don't want that. I don't want that. To be perfectly honest, but yeah, the thing of it is that, I mean, Microsoft made it explicit that, yeah, it's related to it, but the game, I mean, the thing of it is that, let's say that Trump fucking has, that somebody talks some sense into him, or China fucking slaps him upside the head or something. I mean, we've yet to get the fullness of everything, because, I mean, the shipments have yet. I mean, stores have yet to run out of fucking product from China, and what have you. But it's just like, I mean, the shit has, which is to say, the shit has not quite yet hit the fan. So who the hell knows when this is gonna fucking end, because that fucking bloviating asshole is stubborn enough. But I mean, he's getting in pissing contests with Amazon. So who the hell knows what's going on with that. But yeah, it's also, and oh yeah, I forgot, 8-Bit Dough, they've just like, they've paused all shipments of controllers to the US, and I've made it pretty well known that I like me some 8-Bit Dough controllers. I mean, 8-Bit Dough controller is what controls us with this, keeps us running with the Saturn. So, hey, it is what it is. But yeah, the whole, everything is just, yeah. There's that, but I mean, with Nintendo's, I mean, maybe it's because it just struck me as, especially given the timing, and especially given that, oh hey, we can sell it. Everything about Nintendo's price hikes struck me as less about the tariff situation, and more about squeezing out money and creating consent for extremely high prices, especially since Nintendo, it's almost, well, the maximum amount of profit. But I think the thing of it is that I think they're going for, I think they're taking advantage. The thing of it is that I think that Nintendo's move looked more gouging than looking past that, and of course Nintendo fans will just lap it up. I mean, granted, I'm ostensibly a Nintendo fan, but I have at least some sanity amongst me, because I've got, I've long since gotten fed up with their bullshit, and it just seemed like it came off more as bullshit. Whereas, I mean, Microsoft's move came off as more like, well, guys, I mean, even if you have to, this is like suicide for your console, right? But yeah, there's that, and 8-Bit Dough is just like, they've paused. They've done the smart thing, and they just paused shipments to the U.S. because, I mean, there's not. I mean, first off, they're a Chinese company anyway, so there's nothing they can do to avoid the tariffs, or move manufacturing. They're under the crosshairs with this stupidity. But that's not even the thing I'm the most pissed off about, amazingly. If it makes a profit, I don't think that it will. I mean, they'll be able to, as long as the platform, I mean, I know they have that everything is an Xbox thing that's been memed to death, but I don't think there's going to be a limit to it. I mean, and again, we don't know how long this is going to last, because once shelves are empty, store shelves are empty, and what have you, and everything, shit will officially hit the fan. And that hasn't hit the fan yet. Quite yet. Well, yeah, and that's the thing, is that, I mean, why not go for a yeah, that's part of the reason why why the Series S and X haven't been there. And it doesn't hurt that, I mean, with the S and the X having different specs, I mean, the PS5, PS5 at least has, PS5 is at least it has, I mean, and this is me kind of coping with the fact that I own a PS5, bought a PS5 last year, but I mean, the PS5 is at least a reasonably decent 4K Blu-ray player, and of course has PlayStation 4 support, that's native, and what have you. I mean, yeah, and there's at least a little bit, and they do have their internal studios. I mean, the fact is that Sony isn't necessarily Sony has their exclusives, whereas Microsoft, especially since they bought up Blizzard, they don't have that luxury. They just don't. They don't have the luxury to because everybody's giving them the hairy eyeball. Yeah, and that's the thing. But yeah, on a basic level, yeah, there's just not a whole lot of difference. I mean, and honestly, I mean, and that's the thing, is that the consoles are, I mean, the consoles have been having this problem for a while, and with the fact that the death of price cuts is a full-on thing, and has been, and certainly, I mean, was before this tariff bullshit was there. The reality is that going for a gaming PC is a much better option for if you want the bleeding edge AAA games. I mean, even me with a Mac user, I can get. I mean, the only things as a Mac user when it comes to PC games, the only things that I would never even dare to try, with Parallels and what have you to run, or Boot Camp or anything like that. The only things that I wouldn't even try to run on this Mac would be the high-end AAA titles, and even, I mean, and that's like, and if we're being perfectly honest, in a lot of instances, I'm not even interested in very much of the AAA stuff because of all the bullshit that's going on in that realm. Yeah, for developing, yeah, and it's kind of the thing that, honestly, it's a thing where Microsoft brought the whole console sensibility, computer PC sensibility to consoles with the original Xbox, and with the intent of taking over the console space. And the irony is that they set up the circumstances to cause their console business to lose it, especially since, I mean, honestly, even if you don't get a gaming PC, get a fucking Steam Deck at this point. I mean, honestly, the fucking Steam Deck, I mean, and the Steam Deck is very equipped to do shit. I mean, yeah. I mean, and that's the thing, is that they wanted to do And they wanted to bring the PC sensibilities to consoles, and it's starting to bite them in the ass. And I mean they have their granted, yeah. The other thing being the Steam Deck, and it's like I think that honestly, the damn Steam Deck, with all of this bullshit that's going on right now with the way the gaming is that the Steam Deck is poised to fucking win out, because everybody's, there's, yeah, it's exactly, it totally is. It's shocking. I'm not in the market again. I don't have any money to be thrown around at a Steam Deck, but I understand its the benefits of it, and I understand that yes, the Steam Deck is a fucking hell of an option. It really is. Valve is the winner right now of all of this entire situation. They're totally the winner, because everybody's pissed. Microsoft didn't. Yes, Microsoft didn't need these price raises aren't helping Microsoft, because they're already flailing. Nintendo and how they handled it, and especially with that game key card shit, has pissed off everybody. Well, enough people, I should say, to make you wonder if it's gonna go, because let's face it, the Switch 2 pre-orders being high, it doesn't matter, because you know what's happening. They're gonna be scalped. They're fucking gonna be scalped. It happened. It's been happening with hardware since, pre-orders started being a thing that was done order online. So there's, which is the thing, is that Nintendo's not gonna get a good enough. It's not until we see what the software sales are like after launch, and all the accessories stuff, that we're gonna see how this works out for Nintendo. Because if you tell me about pre-orders, it's like, I don't care, because I know that there's scalpers involved. They've already been throwing up pre-orders on eBay, for God's sakes. But yeah, it's just, there's that. But again, that's not even what has me pissed. What has me the most pissed right now is fucking limited run games. Because they damn sure have stepped in it this time. Besides the fact that there's a YouTube video, and I'm gonna pull it up in my. Again, I need to plan these rants better some days. I'm gonna pull up the damned video. Tuesday. Should be. Where is that damn thing? I watch too many YouTube videos. Huh. I'm gonna. Screw it. I have a keyboard. Oh yeah, so. Link address, yeah. So, yeah, skip word. Yes, this feels like them at the moment, but yeah, precisely. So oh my god, of course. I think this is a working link. But yeah, let me make sure. Ow. Ow. Hold on. That. Can I dump my own? Yeah, let's delete that because that link is wrong. Because I'm a fool. Hold on. Let's do this right here.
Initiate.
Yeah. Okay, share. Okay. Okay. There we go. That's the actual link. So anyway, this freaking video from that video and that link expose, reporting on all of the shit they've been in, a lot of shit that's been behind the scenes going on, has been, it dropped 10 days ago, and I saw it over the weekend, I think is when I saw it. But anyway, it's got a lot of damning shit, and it's not like that fucking Gamergator shit about the employee they fired because, for what she was posting bigoted shit on Twitter or anything like that. Not that. No, this is like some real shit. Like fucking Josh Fairhurst, who runs the operation, he's abusive and he's abusive, and he during the height of, he apparently at one point had like a meeting, and he came to the meeting unmasked, and he had COVID. So yeah. So was that the thing where someone was selling bathwater? Now that's an Amaranth thing. Bathwater selling, isn't that the Amaranth business? But yeah, no, there was this limited run got all the shitlords got all pissy, and are still kind of low key pissy because limited run fired an employee who was posting some kind of getting into the anti-trans realm of things, and of course a gamer, that was a totally different thing. But yeah, so anyway, what happens is that, so there's all of this, and there's apparently they've been stealth reprinting games, and what have you. They've been doing all, so that video has like all sorts of fucking shit that's been going on there, and it's bad. But then, this is the after that, everybody started getting their copies of the Shantae Game Boy Advance game that's been delayed, that has been in the works forever. And oh my god, those fucking idiots. They, people, of course, because of Limited Run's reputation for cartridges that are crap and don't work properly, people have been opening up the cartridges to make sure that the boards are copacetic, that they're the right voltage so they won't fry your systems, all of that, and of course also to back it up, because let's face it, that's what you do. I mean, any game release these days almost instantly gets fucking burned and preserved. It just is what it is. But anyway, so people started opening it up, and oh yay, the fucking chips on people's cartridges are fucking showing signs of being being like reused, like, you know, like literally they're scuffed and they're fucking nasty looking cartridges. And one of the and oh yeah, on top of it, they used, instead of doing a traditional ROM, they used an FPGA chip, which everyone's like, well, what's that going to do for the battery life of the cartridge? Because, you know, battery life is a concern with a game that's going to have a save system. And so everybody's, and so that got people set off. And there are other people right now that tried to play it on their, you know, that have analog pockets, and they tried to play it on the analog pocket, and it didn't work. And the issue of these Shantae Game Boy Advance games not playing properly on the analog pocket seems to not be consistent across. It's like not all of some of the cartridges are playing on pockets, some of them aren't. So obviously, which lends credence to the thing that they used secondhand chips, because I mean, what, you know, it just screams it. And also you know, and of course they got into it, and the boards are pretty much, you know, low cost boards, that low cost common boards with, like, you know, aftermarket and bootleg games. Just that on the one side it has the limited run logo screened on it, so there's that. So, and but even better, people went to dump the game again, because everybody always dumps games when they first come out, and that doesn't have a header, so it's like, tee hee hee, good luck fucking with you know, I think they managed to fix it, but there's that, you know, that. And then people also went digging into the file when they dumped it. They went digging into everything, because of course they do, and like more than half the cartridge's ROM size are images apparently for the game's ending screens. It's just a total disaster. And guess who pre-ordered this game who scraped together the money that he doesn't have to pre-order this game? Yeah, me. Yeah. It's right now, it's sitting in my mailbox because nobody's been to the mailbox to get mail since it got delivered. And so yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna have I mean, granted, for Game Boy Advance playing, I have a Game Boy player and a GameCube over there, and what have you, so it should play, because there's not been any issues with legitimate Nintendo-made Game Boys that I've heard, but I mean, at this fucking point, who knows? And I mean, and given that with the Game Boy player that I have, I use Game Boy Interface, which is of course not, you know, official Nintendo software. And that'll be, I mean, who knows there? So yeah, everything's just great with them. They're being complete train wrecks. Just, I mean, and it's just, and I'm not even getting into all of it, but yeah, that just pisses me off so much that I have a cartridge that's, you know, and oh yeah, that's right, and in response to it, freaking Retrobit is like, you know, comes out, and they take the fucking, they take the fucking hit for limited run. It's like, well, we made the games and they were of high quality and everything, and nothing's wrong here. And it's like, which I just found comical, because if you are familiar with the stream, I have had my run-ins with Retrobit, because I have had multiple of their Genesis, their aftermarket Genesis and Saturn controllers, and they've all broke in epically crazy ass fucking ways during streams. I remember, like, the most recent one being last year when I was playing Tomb Raider, and we were in the Sword of Damocles room, and one of the directions just stopped fucking working on the goddamn controller. Yeah, if you got a scapegoat, make the most of it. But yeah, they totally just took the fucking hit. And of course, limited runs, well, if it's not to your satisfaction, we'll take a return. And it's like, yeah, that's not fucking, that it's not, that's not solving the issue. They haven't done an effective, like, well, they're avoiding the issue again, because part of that video that I linked earlier has them that their approach to complaints is that well, nobody ever plays it, so we can cheap out on shit. So yeah, it's just I mean, I have, like, real world things to worry about. Video games are supposed to be one of the things that I do that, that I can just kind of turn off my brain a little bit. Yeah, I mean, not into all of the way, because sometimes these games have content that, just makes my eyes fucking twitch, and, like, what the fuck is this shit, Yeah. They think limited run thinks that their market. Let me look directly into the camera. Limited Run's president, Josh Fairhurst, Josh whatever F. He thinks his thing is that he believes that their key person is shelf collectors that buy the game sealed, never open them, and just, resell them or let them sit on there. That's their current philosophy. That's one of the things that they relate in that YouTube video that's up a little bit in chat. Yeah. That's so that's that, and that's why they did things like the 3DO edition of D having on CDRs, which is, yeah, give up at this fucking, I mean, at this point, it's a shocker that they haven't done. Don't give them ideas, Cackle-a-Cola. Don't do it. At this point, it won't be long before they fucking pull it. I mean, because they don't publish population reports in any real way. So, I mean, who knows how many fucking I mean, because, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, there are a lot of times that happens where they put a weight in the fucker to make it, to make it feel a bit more substantial. That's a practice that I'm familiar with. But yeah, it's just like, and they also make in that video also mentions that they make the returns process so getting it to where somebody will actually do the returns process. They make it so onerous that people will just give up. That's their strategy. Is give up. Make people give up, which is what we're seeing. Yeah. Made things smaller, lighter to extend. An extent that you have to add, not make it feel cheap. Yeah. Dark. It's just, it is so fucking ridiculous. It is just, oh my god, it does not even, I can't, I can't pretend to be shocked, because again, I pay attention to the world outside of video games and everything, but it is just astonishing just how fucking, how they're just, and it's just like how they're just, that's how they're, in order to do it, they're there. And mind you, the thing of it is that these companies, like Limited Run, all these companies that do these low press run games, they take your money when you make the order. They don't take your money when they ship the order, like, say, Amazon does, or other traditional retailers. No, they take your money when you pre-order it. So they take your money up front. So, and here's the thing. Here's what they do with that. Here's what it is possible to do. I'm not saying that this is what happens. I'm just saying this is what is possible for them to do. It is possible, when they take your money up front, it is possible for them to put the funds in escrow. And when they put it in escrow, it can accumulate interest. In other words, they can make money off of interest while they make the game. And then so they profit, so if something takes if they twiddle their thumbs long enough, they profit. So, yeah, your company's awesome. Yeah. So everything is, it's like the Lego movie. Everything is awesome. Everything is awesome. Everything is awesome. You see me shaking my head there. That's intentional. Let me give you a shout, Mighty Collector. Oh my goodness. I haven't even played a minute of the goddamn... Oh, okay. Well, at least it's not an ancient clip.
Hitboxes?
Air, fire, water. Fucking hitboxes. How do they work? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I am so familiar with Microsoft's there. So, yeah. So... Oh, goodness. Yeah, I spent an entire hour kvetching about the games, and it's like, and I kept it as best I could to the games. And, yeah, so ads are going to be starting shortly. So, yeah, so what we're going to do, we're going to let the ads run, and all of that stuff. Yeah. Your glowing review of their product doesn't give me good feelings. Yeah, I hate to deal with it. Again, I've only ever bought their Saturn and their Genesis controllers. Those are so be as it may. But I have not had the best time. I have had terrible times with them. Because I've done some I've done my fair share of complaining about Retro Fighters controllers. Because, I had the one and their aftermarket N64 controllers, and the shoulder button on that, crapped out. Although that's possible. That's possible my fault, since that my fault, their fault sort of situation. But generally speaking, I do have Retro Fighter controllers that are like of quality, but it's like with with all of the retro bit controllers that I've had, they've crapped out on me, and it's like, and I mean, and not like hey, like for instance how at when was it playing Spyro or Spyro 2? Yeah, it was one of the two Spyro games where I got so fucking pissed that on my Dual Shock PS1 controller, I fucking slammed it down so hard I killed the Dual Shock in the controller. But yeah, the Saturn. Oh no, oh no. I'm not gonna that much faith, but yeah, it's like I hope. I mean, hopefully they work for you, but for me, it's just a total thing. But yeah, anyway, ads are starting. I'm go away for now, and then we're gonna actually get started in the game once we're back from ads and everything, because yeah. Okay, everybody. I are back. We're gonna do this again, aren't we? I don't know. So, anyway. Let us reset here. Where we're at in terms of the game, since it has been since the end of January that I've streamed the game. So we left emails when I'm streaming. That was that beep sound you heard. Thanks, Cola. So let us reset. So we finished and we left the initial continent and we're off to the new world, which when I left I was making Neil Diamond jokes. You know, they're coming to America. Well, those fucking jokes aged like goddamn milk because of, politics. Later note. About the time she... Oh, yeah, please. Let's, give us a lighthearted story, so... Yeah, because, Anyway, so, well, waiting for that from Cola. So, anyway, we're making funny jokes about Neil Diamond, which I'm allowed, since I'm from New England. I mean, granted, it wasn't the Sweet Caroline joke, it was a Coming to America joke, but still, I mean, hey, I'm allowed. I'm from New England. Neil Diamond's an honorary, New England, adjacent dude. So, I'm allowed to make those jokes. But I can't make those jokes anymore because the real world has gotten turned to fucking shit. Well, mind you, the real world turned to shit even before we were done with Puzzle Boys. But still, just wanted to put it out there so that anybody in the future knows, Susan, or social media managers decided to promote now listening party with a hat. Oh my god. There's an album party. Oh my god. Yes, which of course which can also be read instead of Susan album party can be sus anal bum party. Hashtags. How the fuck did they work? Oh, good lord. Especially when you're English and the word bum is, is in the common, is in the common vernacular, no less. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. So, anyway. Oh, of course. Yeah, we're back to... Yeah, so... Anyway. So, to put things here. So, we left the old world, headed to the new world. We're gonna, since we've gotten it out of my system... we're not going to be making jokes about that because the world sucks and people suck. But anyway, and oh hey, we ditched Sue, or we thought we ditched Sue, and we were a total asshole about it. But oh, she stowed away on the boat. And anyway, in order to prevent her from becoming chums with the sharks that are surely, in the waters surrounding the boat, we were all in the middle of, we're regular crew. and working our way across the old ocean that's here. And I did 1 day of rounds, I believe. I'm pretty sure because I did. There's a. I think they took that. By then, oh well, yeah. Of course they took it down quickly, but again, I mean, well, while AI is kind of ruining it, you know, the internet is usually forever. But yeah, oh my goodness. And it's like, you know that her social media, you know what happened is that you know that her social media manager was probably somebody that's not as chronically online as most of us. So yeah, so things just, yeah, completely, you know, there. But I mean, oh goodness. But anyway, so I believe, if I remember right, we did 1 full day of work because there was a mini game on the deck of the boat with like swabbing the deck that I did absolutely awfully at. I know, but we the reward for actually doing decently at that little mini game is like, yeah, it's like, according to the guide is, yeah, the guide says the reward is 25 gold. So yeah, I paused on that, but there are people that we can there are things that we can find, people that we can talk to over the course of the days, and that's, yeah, it's one of those reasons I use camel case. Absolutely, Kakalokola. That's, yeah, camel case is your friend with is I mean, yeah, it helps so much. It's like it's like, why? Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The internet is, of course, famous for not being how shall we put it? The internet is famous for grammar dying, but if you follow decent grammar, even decent grammar practices, you avoid the self-owns so much. But anyway, so yeah, so we got, I believe it's, let me double check here the guide. So there's one that's towards the end of the voyage. There, so anyway. Okay, so here, yeah, I'm reading the guide to get myself here. So, on the third, yeah, so on the third day, something happens. Story event here. Sometimes, yeah, like Penn Island, or Penis Land, penis, you know. But yeah, so we've got, I think, 1 more day before the third day where we do, yeah. Yeah, because must be, don't get angry. Oh, Sue. No, not a stowaway. No, I'm becoming an apprentice sailor. Sue, you're already, well, Puffy, we're not gonna, you know, we're not gonna hate on Puffy. Puffy's an innocent. Sue, however, Sue is a hardened criminal. I mean, well, you know, and well, Justin, he's just a moron. So anyway, yeah, so my darling son. Yeah, so we're gonna. You believe that? Oh yeah. So yeah, so we're gonna. Yeah, so we're. It is Justin's fault. It is totally Mrs. Aesthetic, yeah. I mean, charmed by New World. Been 10 times. Yeah. Breath of Fire, this, yeah. That PlayStation 1 Saturn thing there. I will say this much. If when we get to the New World, we're detained, I'm gonna fucking scream. I will scream like at the top of my goddamn lungs if that happens, given everything. I mean, I don't know if we'll get that far because spending hours screwing around and, you know, we're just gonna try to get through the. Now they throw you over in a barrel. Yeah. Last one. There's a Scottish town by the name Pennyquick. And it used to be a Twitter account that tracked the weather there by the name of Pennies. Penis now. Is there penis now? Okay. Don't barf on me. Yeah, Puffy knows which freaking where his bread is buttered. So anyway, because we're gonna make a rounds, because I know that there's. Yeah, because there's these people, right? Oh yeah, yeah. Because part of it is to part of it was because we need to we get according to the guy we get $300 if we keep chatting with them during the voyage. So they're kind of It's just. Justin, don't screw it up. Now, Kakalakola, this is on the Mister. On the Mister Saturn core. Oops. And that's another thing that's had some serious update. I mean, it's still a little bit tetchy. Like, details wink out a little bit, but the Saturn cores had, since I started playing this, the Saturn cores had a couple of updates, and it's really, really stabilized on it. Because, like you see how it, when we're walking down, there's kind of some winking out. It was a lot worse when I started it, because, I mean, on it. So, I mean, the Saturn, it's mostly playable. So it's like, this is, but yeah, it's getting closer and closer. You can tell. In second class. Yeah, so, and I mean, the fact that they've, and the whole thing with the Mister is that they're trying to do it, the whole point is to, be cycle accurate hardware emulation, so it's not traditional, it's not traditional emulation. I mean, just having it to this point, and just having it playing at all on the Mister was considered a couple of years ago like an absolute miracle. Because I mean that and the Nintendo 64 and the Nintendo 64 cores, I mean they've had they got to a point to where it played like 90, like it was like screwing up for like Jet Force Gemini and like one or two other games, and the developer was like, well, I can't do anything more. And then somebody turns around and looks at his work and like, well, you can do this and everything's playable. And it's like, so now the N64 is totally playable. But unlike with the Saturn, where I sold my hardware and my games last year, I'm probably going to keep my N64 for the duration, because it's just one of those consoles that I'm that attached to. I mean, look at Cycle. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, the thing with it, and of course, I mean, it's so, I mean, because when I first got into emulating when I first did emulation way back in the late 90s when I was a PC user, the only emulator that was anywhere near close to cycle accurate was the Atari 2600. that was already pretty damn cycle accurate, and they've improved that even further since those days. I mean, because I remember there in like certain guides and everything for like Mega Man, like certain Super Nintendo games like Mega Man 7. It's like, where they'd be like, chide you for using a emulator if you were talking about not being able to see underwater, see in underwater levels because of, the Super Nintendo the earliest Super Nintendo emulators had issues with the transparencies. Yeah, Nesticle was, I'm that old too. Coca-Cola, the best thing. Yeah, that was the first NES emulator I used was Nesticle. I think the version X.XX I think was the final version of it. Yeah, and the funny thing is that Nesticle for the longest time was the best, was still the best thing, because when what was it, Sardius I think is the developer of Nesticle. I want to say he went under the name Sardius, but the original, Nesticle, the original Holy Trilogy, I bounced in my days. I bounced between ZSNES and SNES 9X. But both. Bloodlust Software. Yeah, that was who it was. But I remember when the guy that did Nesticle left, effectively relearned for the longest time. The scene was just like almost had to relearn the wheel, because because they just, I don't know, that he was the only one doing it and could run at like because that's the thing. When I got my first Mac, it was such a revelation, because it was so much more powerful than my last Windows PC, that it was that so much more opened up. And that was in the early 2000s. That's when virtually every Mac OS X emulator was ported over from PC by Roger Bannister. And that's the thing. For the longest time, pretty much every console, Roger Bannister did was responsible for basically every emulator that worked on Mac OS for the longest ass time. I compare. But it was like, emulate. And that's the thing. This is what I love about the Mister, is that it's so. Because for consoles, it can do. For actual consoles, it can do everything through PlayStation 1, Saturn, and 64. For handhelds, it can do up to the Game Boy Advance. So I've heard that the Game Boy Advance core is kind of it needs work, and on computers, it does to like just shy of doing a competent. The max PC hardware that it can do is like just shy of being like suitable for Doom. And then Mac OS, I think they have like a System 6, or for the Mac, I think they have a setup that's like a system somewhere in the System 6, low System 7 range there. So basically PC and Mac is like their, decent computer for like about like 1992, or 1991 or 1992. So just before, first person shooters get fucking huge. And arcade hardware, oh my goodness, this thing supports there's tons of arcade games. There's this one guy, Hotego, who has done Mr. Course for so many fucking arcade games. It's not even funny. Because there's I think the most, generally speaking, they're up to about around, in terms of the most recent games for arcade, they're at Turtles in Time, I think. Yeah. I remember actually waiting for MAME to get support. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you've been in a similar length of time to me. Because that was my benchmark for multiple computers. My benchmark was, how well can it play NBA Jam? Seriously. It'd be I'd, get the new computer and I'd get MAME going, and it's how good can it play NBA Jam? My Windows 98 PC was no, could not. Just unfucking playable. My first Mac was stuttery as fuck, and then my second Mac, my first Intel Mac, that was blammo, could play it could totally play it, and it was yes, we have arrived, because again, because it's I was, that was my standard bearer, because it's I don't expect it to do time I was there's no way. I had no compunctions about Time Crisis or any of the Tekkens. I was but NBA Jam, seeing as how all of the ports that I'd played on Super Nintendo and Genesis were kind of compromised, I was that's the one I want. And what can you say? And if they get NBA Jam up and running on the Mister, that will be the chef's kiss. That will be okay, you have done ever. Because I don't believe they have it on Mister, but if they get the NBA Jam working on Mister, that'd be the you know what, this is the fucking one of the best things since that would be the greatest thing. Not quite sure. So just yeah, but yeah, it's oh, I'm no. Yeah, since it's been so long, I don't even know if any of this is some of these I think are all dialogues. Because of course, yeah, because that guy sounds. Oh yeah, that's the guy we gambled with, and I must have won. Lordship during the voyage. Details only that he's an authentic. Photo. Oh my goodness. If you like missed out on some cross promotion, if you imagine, if you will, NBA ham. Oh goodness. Well, I mean, the thing of it is though is that Midway was constrained by the NBA was really the NBA was definitely very tetchy about what Midway could do. Because the very earliest versions, I don't even know if they got out mass release, but like the very earliest versions of the original NBA Jam had the some Mortal Kombat characters as secret characters, and the NBA was like, nope. Yeah, because the NBA, I mean, the NBA at the time was very, certainly for video games, was very particular about its license. It doesn't hurt that, yeah. I remember seeing players but not team. Yeah, well, that's because of unions. That's because of the players' union and what have you. Because, I mean, you can get two licenses. Even to this day, you can get two licenses. You can get the league license, which is the team names, logos, and oftentimes like the stadiums, and also the raw statistics. And then you can get the players, the players from rights from the Players Association, their labor union. And I mean, the thing of it is that the reason why you had situations like, for instance, the original Tecmo Bowl that only did the one, or the LGN NFL football game that did just the league license, was because it was considered too expensive to pony up for both. Actually, no, Kakalacola, the developers, they're in multiple versions, even in Tournament Edition. Yeah, the developers are in there. The only ones that the NBA really threw a fit over of secret characters that they put in was the Mortal Kombat crew, because there's a lot of, yeah. Oh no worries. Yeah, but yeah. I mean, but the thing of it is that was the only one, because Mortal Kombat was hyper violent and everything, and they were like, yeah, no, that's why they're like, cut it out. I mean, because I mean, and then there's the whole thing where there were, I mean, because in NBA Jam there were certain players that had their own contracts outside of the union, like which included some of the most popular players, like, I mean, eventually Shaq, but Michael Jordan and a couple others. And what Midway did was, for those specific players, they did a private they did like a private version of the game that had everything in the game, but they also had like Jordan and Shaq and what have you. And I think it's ultimately like 10 machines were made for one for each of the players. Yeah, cut it. Yeah, but yeah, it's like, but yeah, so like there's like the thing of it is, there's like 10 machines, and for the players that were the elite players that were excluded from it because they had separate licensing deals and what have you. The thing of it is, though, is that it's one machine for each player, and who the hell knows where the machines are, because they haven't been. It's kind of mythical. The NBA Jam arcade development teams admitted that they did it. It's just that they don't have I mean, well, now that we're, I mean, first off, Midway's been closed, and part of the Warner umbrella and everything. I mean, they couldn't even if they had those ROMs on hand, they couldn't release it. I mean, so. But the thing of it is that no one's dumped it, because you're talking about 10 prominent NBA players, whether or not they still even, God knows where they have the arcade machine. I know that, I believe that Shaq has it at his home in Florida, or at least it's reputed to be in his home at Florida, but I mean nobody's ever, certainly no one's ever approached him about it. I mean, which is like, and it's kind of an awkward thing to do, but yeah. That's where, the arcade version, hidden deep in its ROMs. Yeah, in the arcade version, deep in its ROM, there are tracks. Yeah, there are uncensored Termel tracks. We didn't even pull it up. Why the hell not? We're not a cheap, we're a full service stream here. Even gonna play it. Where do we have? An NBA tournament edition. Yeah, there's the intention. Yeah. Originally, there was an intention to use a more extreme version of the "Get That Out of Here" there, recorded as "Get That Shit Out of Here." But the NBA, of course, rejected it, even after they bleeped it. So the NBA was like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. The samples are still present in the ROM, with the censored version still theoretically accessible via soundboard sample codes that remain uncalled. Yeah, so, however, to ensure no accidental leaks of the original, the profanity is disabled by removing any reference to the affected sample in the game's code. To access the audio, you have to do stuff, and the uncensored, yeah. So, let's turn down the audio a little bit here, because they're separate ones.
Get back!
Yeah, see. Yeah, so let me. You know what? I'm gonna turn down, because it is freaking 6 o'clock in the morning. But yeah. Yeah.
Out of here!
Yeah, so I hope you heard that all. But yeah, so it's like, it's in NBA Tournament Edition. But yeah. And I mean, I don't, the arcade ROM hacking scene is, I don't know very much about the arcade ROM hacking scene, to put a fine point on things. So I don't know if if they've hacked it to have that. Oh, good, yeah. I can never tell, because, I'm like, I mean, I have my mic right next to everything, but yeah, so. But yeah, it's like though it's yeah, it and that's part of it. It's easier to hack, you know, hack an 8 and 16-bit ROM because the 8 and 16-bit ROM has, you know, it's just the one. Whereas with arcade, you have to hack every. You have to know which ROMs, you know, since they're all multi-chip, you know, ROM sets. You have to know which ROMs to do, and I mean, it gets complicated with something like that. That's, you know, that's a dynamically a dynamic bit of dialogue that comes up specific, you know, in specific circumstances. So let's see here. Oh my goodness, so we're gonna, because I'm probably going to just, yeah, because, oh yeah, but yeah, because the core, the last core update has really, I don't know if it's coming across particularly well with everything. I think it might be, but yeah, it's I mean, because like a lot of like the textures, like those boxes and the smokestacks here, the last time I streamed, a lot of it was would wink out when you did like this, which we'll refrain from because, you know, it's almost assured to, you know, make somebody seasick. You know, ha ha ha. Yeah, seeing characters in Final Fantasy are a bit of a novelty. You say that, a bit of a novelty. A lot of the early fan translations for games, you know, kind of did the business, as it were. So anyway, so yeah, so the bridge, yeah. So we're gonna go and say, but yeah, because it's kind of amazing. This is me how. I mean, because there were certain. I mean, especially since it's a 3D game and a fully 3D game, which is a. Okay, but yeah, there were. I mean, the fully 3D Saturn game is kind of a harder beast to deal with than what have you. So well, we'll do that so that in case I screw up here. Okay, so they're still saying the same shit. So, yeah. So, anyway, what was it here? So, on the third day in this grunt work, the party is introduced to new characters, so let's see. Yeah, because this, yeah, the last time I streamed it, this engine room, like the parts of the engine were all kind of wigging out and like, you know, blinky. So yeah, I have to give the developer of the Saturn core credit. He's really in just a few in because when did I fucking start this? Oh goodness. When did I start Grandia? Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah, that's right, because I got waylaid when I moved. Yeah. My first stream of it was at the end of August. And then in September, and then in October, which was the last at the old place, and then October when I barely had more than this TV here, TV and system set up, and then I was pretty much, yeah, and I didn't touch this again till the end of January, and then, yeah, into February, yeah, and on the last day of January, I did some more after I beat Lolo 1. Yeah, so it's but it's been quite a bit. But yeah, the technical improvements and the performance is really oh yeah, the PS1, of course. Yeah, I mean, although it's said that this is the, I mean, with that said, this has kind of been sold as like the superior version of Grandia, which is why I played it. That, and you know, hey. Yeah, because this is the mini game. Grandia did have a few things. Yeah, because this game is so... Yeah, obviously I lost because I got beat by freaking Sue in her little bit, and she's, of course, she and Puffy are just like, you know, like, fuck, work sucks. And, well, work does suck. But yeah, so, the reminder of how I suck at this shit. This damn thing. Yeah, but yeah, the Saturn, yeah, that's the thing. Sailors and adventurers use lights to signal each other. Being on board suits, so we have to signal. A guest in the middle of the ocean? This greatest adventurer in New Parm. There are a few desert islands in these parts. Our guest has been searching for treasure. Getting ready for the guest early in the morning tomorrow, so don't sleep late. So, yeah. And cutscene. Maybe a giant man with a shaggy beard and bulging muscles. Okay, yeah, whatever. And we got ads, so we're gonna take an addy break here. I will be back. Ads should be playing. Alright, everybody, I'm back. Everybody had a restful ad breaky here, so anyway, thinking, this is setting us up for a freaking misdirect here, because Justin's all like, you think he's gonna be a big old, be like freaking, he's like describing like half the SIDS from Final Fantasy. You got 5 arms. It's like, no. Just learn tips for fighting hostages. Oh, that's some nice character animation right there. Count to 10. Okay, so we got a little bit of... This is a greeting of cool sailors and... Sure. You'll learn to be full-fledged. You don't say. Oh, no. No, you... like... No. No, you look like a fool. You fool! God damn it. I have a... if I'd been, I have this freaking Firebot all fucking, installed on my system and all integrated. I should have added the freaking Gilbert Gottfried doing the you fool. It would have been perfect here, but nope. Didn't cross my brain until now. Well, next time, I guess. If I remember to add the sound of... Well, I'll do the video. I mean, the video clip of that freaking, infamous Hollywood Squares moment is on YouTube, of course. If you're not familiar, there's this insane... During the Bergeron run of Hollywood Squares in the late 90s? Yeah, late 90s. There was this episode, Gilbert Gottfried's one of the fairly regulars. He wasn't like every episode like Valanche or Whoopi Goldberg, but he was fairly regular. And there's this like the sequence where it's down to the two contestants are down to the last square with Gilbert Gottfried for the win. Whoever gets the question right with him, wins the game. And the thing that is that in Hollywood Squares, you have on that last square, you have to get a correct match on the answer with them. You can't get it wrong and the other person gets it. You have to get the final answer. So there's this whole sequence where the two contestants are, because if you're not familiar with Hollywood Squares, the questions are, the thing that is that the host of the show asks a question to the celebrities. And the celebrity, what it is that the celebrity, first they do a joke. Because, I mean, a ha-ha funny joke. And then they do their answer. And it's I mean, how good the joke is the most entertaining part. But anyway, it's usually like a true, and the answer, so they give an answer. But anyway, they end up giving an answer to the question, and it is up to the contestant to say, well, he's full of shit, or he's right. And so anyway, so in this last square, you got to match. You got to guess correctly. And there's this whole sequence that basically lasts like through. I mean, it basically turned. It lasted so goddamn long that Hollywood Squares is supposed to have 2 rounds before the final game. This sequence lasted so long that episode only had 1 round of Hollywood Squares. And so anyway, so I mean they literally were, they literally had a full, went to like, they're dealing with the Gilbert, and they have to go to commercial break, and then they're still dealing with him, and it's like they and then they finally win, and then they have to go call it an end to the game, and then go to commercial before the final, the bonus game. But anyway, it's like, but it gets so crazy, and it's like, and every time Gilbert's like, "You fool!" at the top of his voice, as it just gets, and it's like everyone's cracking up. Even the 2 contestants are just losing it, because it's just like, it just goes on so goddamn long, and it's like, just, I mean, it's so hilarious. But have you seen the? Oh, I think I've seen some of it. Yeah, I've not all of it, but I've seen some of it. I mean, Gilbert Gottfried. I mean, it's funny. When I was a teenager, I couldn't stand him because he was the Saturday night host of USA Up All Night, and it's like, I always watched on Fridays because horny teenager, and Rhonda Shear, and she was so impossibly hot. And then if the first time I turned it on Saturday, one of the Saturday editions, it's like, you go from Rhonda to Gilbert, and it's like horny teenager brain just can't handle that. But it's like, over the course, once I got over horny teenager brain, I learned that the man was so goddamn funny. He could make shit. I mean, he was just, he of course had that voice like freaking, like a fucking buzzsaw. But what made it work was he was just such a damn. Was that he could. The delivery was always the thing that made it the best. I mean, he could his delivery. Gilbert's, yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure they did, but I mean, hey, straight male teenager, and I'm sorry, not I wasn't a person that found Gilbert Gottfried hot. I found Rhonda Shear hot. I'm just saying it. I'm not not getting anybody, not starting shit with anybody. I'm just saying that was my horny teenage brain. But anyway, yeah. So if I just gotten the video clip, if I just thought to it, we would have it right here to mock Justin, because this is just, look at this. I mean, if they would just face each other, it would be a high five, and it would be a lot less stupid. You're pretty good at it. If you can do this high five, everyone will see. This is the most important greeting among sailors and adventurers you see. Oh no. Why do I have a feeling? Why do I have a feeling this is going to be a goddamn running gag for the rest of the game? Oh. I guess they're still. I guess everybody else is still in their business, but let's. Okay, maybe we don't need to do it every day, but let's face it. If we're gonna, I mean, I will, even though $300 isn't much in the scheme of things, I am totally up for that sort of thing. So anyway, we obviously have to go to the main deck. That goes without saying. There's an episode. His act involved a celebrity. The celebrity would have his blurred to protect their identity. The screen comes up and there's a man sitting in front of the camera with a blurred face. He says, "Are you sure no one?" He says, "No one can see my face." And let me guess. Where over there? Nope, they're over there. Yep, of course. And it's like, yeah, when Gilbert talks, it's like, well, oh my god, dude was serious. So it's Feena. Okay, so. Yeah, so the great adventurer is, well, a woman, and her name is Feena. So am I to believe that this is one of the goddesses of Ys? I mean, come on. The Game Arts had to know what they were doing, naming a character Feena. I mean, they had to know. Unless I mean. Speaking of horny teenager, Justin's you'll have to excuse Justin. His brain is currently non-functional. Oh no. Oh goodness. Womp, womp, womp. For now. You are a kid. You treat me like a kid. Because you are? Justin's all like, I'm a man. I'm a mega man. It's like, yeah, no. And we're on the boat. Huh? Get a vote. Outclassed. Okay, come on. The blatant entendre here. Come on. Looks like a hot one today. Game. Do we have to send you to... Do we have to send the game to horny jail? Do we have to go... Bonk! Horny jail? Game's getting freaking horny here. You remembered our names, though? Oh, goodness. Like to say so. I heard about you from the captain. Oh boy. Swabbing the deck. But you took so long to get here. I had to do it my damn self. And a good coaster. I'll tell her. Yes, you. Send the game to horny jail. Send the game to horny Jim. He's trying to ditch me. Oh goodness. Uh-oh. Oh goodness. Justin is in trouble. He just got so Oh no. Oh no. Great adventure, right? Oh no. Busted. Man. Fault, right? Oh, pegged. well, I'm a goddess. And what would you like to know? Would you like to know about the goddesses of Ys? Would you like to know about my boyfriend Adol? And about the series of stalkers that he's had since I got turned into a statue? Each day. Be fun if we all do it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The drama. She is not a member. Uh-oh. There is... Just, you know, a long... Jesus. A long... show with Nikki. Oh, goodness. Too. I'll be an even better adventurer. I guess I'll go with you on your adventure. That sounds like fun. Oh boy. Yep. There's a story here to be had. Live alone. It's a carefree life. Uh-oh. Why do I have a feeling that we have seen her big sister already in previous streams? Why do I get this feeling? Why do I get this feeling? Well, I mean, don't tell me. If anybody knows, don't tell me. Again, story spoilers are they'll get you banned. But I'm just speculating here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Justin, there's gonna be a storm, and if Feena is fucking worried about it, it's probably gonna be a doozy. Oh my goodness. So the guide says we should visit her on the bridge, which is... It looks like we're on the This is trouble. I'll assemble the men. But not only that, I have a bad premonition. Uh-oh. ghost ship. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, Justin. Come on. If you... I told you to go in your quarters. I will smite you with my goddess powers. You don't want to know where I stick that orb from the East Games. You really don't. Yeah. Well, the weather is foggy. The ghost ship, the 2002. It really has the mood down. Oh my goodness. First grade will be on that ghost ship. Oh god. We won't make it to Valencia alive. At this rate, it involves not only the passengers. Cat and Shaggy here. Or are you meatballs? And here comes Justin. Yeah, it looks like we got a dungeon ahead here. And I'm going to tell you, we're probably just going to cut the stream short here. Because you know me and getting lost on dungeons. Even though the map for this looks very simple, I will still find a way to get lost. Even little kids are showing some bravery. You meatballs. Get it? Oh, Justin, you sexist nut. Yeah, I vote. I promise to come back right. Ooh, we have 3 party members now. Yeah, it looks like we're... Ooh. Look at this. She uses a fucking whip. A leather... Come on, game. Telling you, bonk, bonk, bonk on the head. Bonk, bonk. Ooh, she got fire. The burning ring of fire. She doesn't... And she, of course, has, you know... If she has a knife, she has a knife hurling, and she has a paralyzing whip attack. So, okay. So, yeah, so what I'm going to do is that... Because we the guide is even saying to lard up for ye ol' adventure. So what we're going to do is we're going to save, and then we're going to get... When we start the next stream, which I swear will be more than like a month and a half time, you know, difference. What we will do is lard up for the adventure ahead. So let's see here. Okay, so yeah, so and we need to remember, yeah, so the game is saved on the Mister properly here. So yeah, I'm gonna call it a morning. I do not know when the next stream will be because you know me and schedules, but we will have another. We will continue. We will do this ghost ship and lard up for the adventure. Hopefully, because let's see. Feena uses whips and daggers. Coming from paring knife, whatever inventory. Initially, she starts with fire magic. It's weak now, but view the muse option. See how it enables her to have more skills. Benefit of mana eggs, whatever the hell that is. The cranes. gives access to the ship, but it's one-way drop, so we have to. It's a one-way road here. This means stashing stuff irrelevant things and getting some supplies. First aid kits. Although I don't think they're called first aid kits in this version, in this translation. But yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. So next stream. We're gonna see who's. So what we're gonna do. I'm checking the old worky tabs here. See if there's anything. Yeah, so you know what? So what we're gonna do, he's kind of napping right now, and in the middle of because he's doing a big old streamathon through with the Max through Sunday. But yeah, and he's been doing it for almost 2 full days. But he's asleep right now. But he's got episodes of Dragon Ball playing. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna hold on here. Come on. Okay, so we're gonna start the read. Yeah, so we are gonna raid Surfins again. He's not awake right now, but he's playing he has episodes of the original Dragon Ball playing. He's like in the early it looks like it's in the early stages of the Red Ribbon Saga. But since Los is on East Coast time, he should probably be up within the next couple hours at the most. But yeah, anyway, Los is super cool, dude. Friend of the channel, all that fun stuff. Anyway, everybody, thank you all for popping in and being patient during my extended absence. It was good to be back, even though I started the stream way too late. But yeah, next stream will be this ghost ship and hopefully beyond. And I will see you all on the next one. I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever your time zone declares. And hopefully we'll get in a stream during the weekend. I don't know exactly when, but probably not tonight because, it's, yeah. But anyway, later, everybody.